Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be training so I can prepare to go to my first hare scramble race next year. I've picked out this hill in my front yard that has a couple of trees on it. They're going to be a good place to do some turning exercises. The grass is still wet this morning. There's leaves, branches, some roots, and it's definitely very off camber here. Great practice for when I'm on single track in the woods without the risk of running into other trees. So I think this is going to be a great exercise anybody can do at home. This one's a little easier. There's some branches, but nothing really to worry about. A couple little roots. And then I'm going to head over to the third tree. When I was doing this, the first one was the hardest for me. These two really didn't give me too much of a hard time, and I really enjoyed this last one. I've been working on making tighter turns, and I felt a lot better in my turning on this last tree. Everything started out really good, and that's because I was standing, and I always feel better when I'm standing. But what happens when I'm in the woods is I panic, and I sit down, and I lose all my composure. So I really wanted to practice sitting today, so that when those situations happen, I can have a little more composure. But of course, I wanted to start out standing where I'm comfortable, get a feel for the hill, and of course, work on my standing, improving that always. So now I'm sitting down, I'm shifting down into first gear. I don't have my leg up high enough. I've stopped looking ahead, I've stopped weighting my outside peg. As usual, everything's falling apart. I got a little bit of an audience this time. Got my eyes up a little more, and I get my leg up at the end, a little better. But the more I do this, it seems like the more I fall apart. The ground starts getting slicker, and I'm just not as confident as I am when I'm standing. This is the same tree at a different angle. Now I've done it about a dozen times, so I'm starting to look a little better. I'm looking ahead more. Need to get those elbows up. But otherwise, it's starting to come together. I'm still in first gear though, and I don't know why I'm shifting down. I guess that's because I'm feeling nervous about how slick it is. But I should really be up in second gear. Anybody else have that problem when they get nervous, they shift down into too low of a gear? Now I'm going to put the two trees together. This is real sloppy. Real sloppy. Every time I go around that tree, I'm just sloppy. This tree, I'm standing. I'm nice. I'm taking it a little wide, but I'm not going to fault myself. Nice and forward at least. Don't have my leg up. Not weighting outside peg. Tell me what you guys struggle with and want to see. Ah, there. And see, both my feet came off the pegs. I have that trouble a lot in the woods. Not when I'm standing, but when I'm sitting. That was a little smoother. Around that corner nicely. Now I'm moving over to the third tree. I felt pretty good about this tree. I started off a little wide, and that's because I wasn't looking ahead. And I started making this little rut, and I kept looking right at the rut I was making instead of looking ahead. And that meant I kept making the same turn over and over again. Guys, when you're practicing turning, make sure you try different angles and techniques of entering and exiting. This time's a little better, a little tighter, looking a little ahead, and I'm getting away a little faster. This last time feels really good. Wasn't the last time. I got one more. And that one I got in really tight, really liked it. So I stopped there. So now I'm going over to do a figure 8. This is a steep hill. And there is a lot of big branches down, wet leaves, roots. There's a lot going on, and it definitely, you can tell it's getting in my head. Same problems I've been talking about. Taking my feet off the pegs. I should be keeping my feet on the pegs. I'm not weighting that outside peg. I'm only looking a couple feet ahead of me instead of looking well ahead of me. I'm having lots of problems. And the problems keep mounting as I go along. So I try and fix one thing, I try and think about my feet, and I forget something else. Or I try and look ahead and I forget something else. You have to constantly be practicing these techniques so you have the muscle memory. And practice really does make perfection. I can't tell you how far I've come in the last couple of months. I wouldn't have been able to do this months ago, especially not on this 250. I am looking for a new bike, something a little bit different, hopefully a 2-stroke. I will be doing some reviews of bikes as I get to try different bikes, unsponsored, my honest opinion, especially coming from a short woman. This bike has been cut down so that I can touch the ground. On a regular KTM, I'm about a foot away from touching the ground. So we have cut this one down. It gives me a little more confidence. So I've changed directions now, and I'm focusing on my feet. And while I'm focusing on my feet, I'm letting some other stuff go. And it's going to cause me a problem here in a minute. A big problem. So now I'm going to come around this corner. I really want to keep my feet. It's really a lot of roots. It's slick. And made it up that time. Not too bad. But it's getting slick. The roots are getting exposed. And this time when I come around, I'm going to try and keep my feet up. Not going to be real successful, and I don't have enough momentum. I let my clutch completely go. What was I thinking? Got to keep 2 fingers on that clutch. Be ready. And then I have a whole problem. I get off the bike. I should have just stayed on it. Now I can't get back on the bike because, guys, I'm too short. Anybody else too short out there? I start backing this bike down a couple of feet thinking I'll just get it in a better position. That never happens. Stay on the bike. Keep going where you're at. Whew. So this was a whole workout for me. Man, I wish I'd never gotten off that bike. So now I'm trying to manhandle this heavy bike, which isn't going well. Trying to make a decision about what I'm going to do. I can't get back on because I'm on the low side of the hill, of course. And gravity's starting to take effect. Oh, the hill's slippery. I'm not strong enough. And it's on the ground. Now I got to pick this thing up. And it's a real workout to do that. You can tell I don't want to do it. I'm trying to think of a way out of it. Pull up my sleeves and here I go. I got to do it. I'll save you guys the horror of the next 2 minutes of me struggling with this bike. And just skip to the next section. Okay, I'm back on the bike. Ready to go again and conquer my fears. I'm going to keep my feet up this time. I'm going to look ahead. I'm going to keep my momentum. Man, I already got my feet down. Can't win no matter what we do. But keep practicing. You're going to get it right. Try again. Here we go. Going down. I'm going to keep my feet up. No, got my foot out. But I'm going to keep working on it, guys. I'm going to get this. And I'm going to keep sharing videos of me working on this until I get it. And I'm a pro at it. Well, I got up the hill. Okay, now I'm in the woods and I'm going to put some of this practice to use, hopefully. Right? That was the whole purpose of it. But again, I'm going to do the same thing I always do. Panic right here in the corner, put my feet down, and forget everything else. I stalled the bike out. That corner's a lot harder than it looks. Alright, starting over. Gonna do it again. I've got nice speed coming down. I just got up into third gear on this trail. I'm real proud of myself for that. I'm gonna shift down, go through this corner, miss the rut. Wish I would have kept my feet up. Gotta keep working on that. Otherwise, real proud, got through it. You gotta give yourself a pat on the back for your little accomplishments. My training did not pay off today, but I've seen how much it's paid off in the past. Keep sticking to it. If you like this video, please endo onto the like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. We have more coming.